Hi there, Tracy here with another Pocket Process video. This is going to be the final pages in my Cuba album, and I'm just going to start by adding some journaling that I pre-planned and printed out. These are printed onto let me see. I put them on vertically oriented 4x6 pieces of vellum, and then I attached them to those thinner pieces of Ali Edwards paper that comes in her kits. I can't remember the exact size of them, but it's that long, thin paper that comes in the Ali Edwards story kit. And so I already printed it up on 4x6 paper, but I oriented it portrait instead of horizontal when I printed it so that it would fit on these. Now, I made it so that they both had a space at the top, but then after I kind of looked at my embellishments and saw that I had that other triangle to use, I thought it would look better if the words were at the top and then I could put the other triangle embellishment underneath of that one. I'm talking about the evening routine, but as you could see, I was unable to pull that off without ripping the paper below, and I didn't want to do that. So it's okay that these don't have coordinating embellishments on them. So one is a rubber piece from Ali Edwards, and this is a foam circle, or it's a heart actually, from Ali Edwards. And I really like how that looks, and I'm not going to add anything else to that journaling page. So here I have all of the rest of the pictures for my Cuba trip, and what I'm thinking is that I have run out of stories before I ran out of pictures, and a lot of these pictures are redundant with photos that are already in the album, and so I'm not going to include all of these, but I am just going to have a quick flip around and make sure that I had a picture with the cats, because I have some cat pictures here, but I'm going to include them anyways because I really like these photos. So I'm just kind of going through and basically purging a whole lot of photos here, picking the ones that I really want to make sure they make it into the album. So I've got a lot of food pictures and I don't need that many food photos, so I'm gonna just pick my very favorites of all the food photos, either my favorites or the most entertaining or the ones that kind of have the most interest to them. And then there are a few other photos of just like people we met and talked to, and a sunset from the resort, and just a few different things that I want to make sure I include, since these are the very last photos that are going to make it into this album. So now that I have that all sorted out, I reprinted anything that I wanted to include but use different sizes of, because I unfortunately didn't do a great job of planning when I printed all my photos. So I am having to reprint a lot of photos here. But the ones that I'm cutting down right now, I have printed at 2x3, which is my favorite size for horizontals that are not going to be 4x6. So this one was of a couple that we met. That one was pretty low quality, so I didn't want it to be a 4x6. So I printed it down to 2x3. Also, if there are any photos that I don't want to be really dominant of the page, I'll also print those down at 2x3 instead of leaving them full size, like that palm heart. For example, it's not all that nice of a photo, but I do want to tell this story, so I just printed it at 2x3. The other size I'm using here is 3x4, and of course 4x6 as well. So I have several pictures of coffee here. I just chose the one that I liked the best, the one before it was stirred, so you could see the little design in the foam. And I reprinted this photo of my daughters in a smaller size. And I do have some more journaling here. I have some 5x7 journaling that tells a kind of like a bit of an embarrassing story. So I'm going to kind of figure out how I'm going to do that. I'm thinking what I'd like to do is fold it up and put it inside of here. So I use my trimmer. The Stampin' Up trimmer has a scoring blade as well, so I scored it. I know it looked like I was about to cut it in half, didn't it? But I just scored it. And then I'm going to fold it in half, and then I have to think about, what am I going to do with this? And I'd like to decorate it. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a whole bunch of different embellishments and stickers. And what I want to do is, first of all, the embarrassing story is about a bikini, like it's about a bathing suit. So I'm going to definitely use that bathing suit embellishment, and that's chipboard. But what I want to do is make a collage of a whole bunch of flat die cuts and stickers in behind the bathing suit. I do have this kind of like bad day kit from Kelly Perky. I think it was the March or the April kit. And I thought I might be able to use this Nope and all the other things I'm not going to use, but I'm just having a look at what is in here. But I think the Nope is going to be good. It says Nope, and then it says, "Are you kidding me?" So I'm just measuring this paper so that I can know what size I'm supposed to cut a background to. So I want to have some pretty patterned paper for the background of this little insert, and then I'll also decorate the insert itself. That's actually looking a little bit too busy for me. When I was first planning on just putting one or two things on the back of this, it didn't look too busy, but the more I decide to add to this fold up piece of journaling, the more I decide that that background paper is too busy. So here I go, I'm just adding stickers, and I'm putting the biggest stickers on the very bottom layer because obviously they're going to cover a lot, and then I'll put the more detailed stickers outside. And also I'm not just putting stickers, I'm also putting little die cuts and just layering my favorite pieces here so that they can be seen. And I am overlapping things and just trying to fill most of the white background paper here. So I'll put this umbrella here. That's a die cut, so I have to add some glue to it. Anything kind of beach or water or pool themed I'm looking for here. I like that little beach towel looking thing that's green at the top. Add that sun and a little bottle of suntan lotion, sunscreen, and a little heart. Tuck it in there just to cover that last little bit of white. I'll add the little flamingo there too. And then that just says happy and relax. Finally, I'll put the bathing suit on the very top because it is chipboard, so it doesn't layer well under anything, but it goes well on top. Then I'm just using my scissors to trim off all around the edges. And I really like how this looks. There, I added a little orange in there. And then I thought what I'd like to do is use the Nope as a pull tab. So I just have to think about how I'm going to attach it. And what I decided to do is just use this little piece of paper here as a handle. I'm grabbing my Lawn Fawn Push Pull stamp set, and I'm just going to stamp a tiny little stamp here that says pull here. So I'm just using some VersaFine black onyx ink. So it says pull here. And then I'm also going to add a little arrow from the same stamp set just to indicate that the direction that you pull to get that out. And now I'm going to glue this to the piece of scrap paper, and then I'll also glue the scrap paper to the journaling. Sorry that I zoomed in too far there so that you couldn't see that. But basically, I have this little insert now, and the background paper was way too busy, as I mentioned. So I'm just going to pull another sheet of this paper out. This is more from the Photo Play Summer Daydream collection. So I'm cutting it down to the same size as the insert behind it. So the insert behind it has journaling on it. And so there we go. Now we have that one, that journaling just inside, so that you have to work just a teensy little bit harder to get at it. And yeah, that way it's not like blatantly there embarrassing me every time I look at the page. So I will just put all of these away. And it was really nice to get some stickers and some die cuts into the page as well. So now that that insert is taken care of, I have all of these photos, and I also have that journaling piece that says right now, and I just printed that directly onto the card using my Epson PictureMate PM400. And I'm just having a look at the embellishments that I have from the April kits that I had pulled out from before. And I also have a bunch of summertime embellishments and papers and cards, and also a bunch of travel themed papers and cards. So I do have a piece of ephemera here. It's just a piece of paper from the restaurant. It's just like a little stub that you had to bring to the restaurant with you in order to get in. And I'm just having a look at what other cards I have here. I have a couple of Ali Edwards story kits. I have We and I have Together. And then I also just pulled out some stamps from, and these were all pulled for previous layouts that were from the videos before this on my channel. So all of the Cuba pages I pulled from the exact same supplies. And so a lot of these are pieces of photoplay paper from the Summer Daydream collection that I cut down in the very first video about this, and I just still have them kicking around. So yeah, almost all of these cards come from the photoplay collection, although this one comes from Fancy Pants from the Pool Time collection. I'm going to do a quick little switcheroo there. And now I'll start by adhering that ticket onto the card, because that's my simplest, easiest, my easiest task for this one. It's a bit of a no-brainer. And so I will have, that will go in the center here. So I'm just kind of making sure that it looks okay like that. So this is a 2x3 photo of my family and a couple that we met in Cuba. And we spent kind of like, we spent some time with them at a restaurant, and then we also hung out with them in the lobby one evening, and we also kind of met up with them on the beach another time as well. So it's kind of one of those friendships that you kind of keep passing each other and seeing each other and chatting each time. So I like to include those sorts of interactions in my project life, because that's really the best part of travel, is meeting people. So I'm journaling here. It says friends we met from Montreal. And those are just label stickers from my stash. They're very, very old, from back in the day when my mind's eye used to make a whole bunch of those label stickers with every collection that they made. And now these are my label stickers from my stash. These mostly come from either Ali Edwards or Studio Calico or Kelly Perky kits. And I'm just looking through here trying to find a label to put on this photo of my daughters in the lobby with the Cuba sign up behind them. And I knew that there were these large Ali Edwards labels in my stash, because I've kind of passed by them many, many times. I thought this is a good time to use them, because it's big enough that it covers up all those random people in the background and really adds to the airy feel that I wanted this photo to have. The lobby is like an open air lobby. It's not enclosed. So I wanted it to have, and it's also up really high, so it has a real airy kind of feel to it. So I wanted to make sure that the photo captured that ambience. I'm going to do a similar thing with this photo from the Japanese restaurant. I'm going to use some labels to cover up some of the people in the background. These background people are particularly distracting because they were looking right at the camera when I took the picture. And so it kind of looks like it's a picture of them. It does look like they were posing. So I wanted to cover over them so I didn't, years from now think, now what's the story of them? Why was I taking a picture of them? So it makes it more clear that this is just a picture of the chef here. My journaling here says the Japanese restaurant is always fun. We went with Fee and Brian this time. Such fun. Now here is a screenshot photo of just the beach from our room. And then this one is on an Allie Edwards card, and I just wrote palm hearts on the photo. And now this one says this and that. And I put the little smaller photo of my daughters at the lobby, and I'm just going to decorate it up a little bit with some washi tape, just because there was too much white space there. And also I had pulled something else off of this card, so the paper there was a little bit torn. So the washi tape covers that. And the sticker says favorite place. And now I'm going to mat this picture of the palm hearts. I'm going to mat it on this navy blue paper. And the journaling on the 4x6 card that says right now, that talks about the palm hearts. So, and this kind of like the story behind it of why I took a picture of palm hearts, because it was on the Naked and Afraid show that we were watching back in our room. Then we went to the restaurant, and lo and behold, palm hearts was on the menu. So we ordered it just to see what it tasted like. So I've got a story about that on that right now card. So I put the palm hearts right above it. And I'm just familiarizing myself with what stickers I have left over, and thinking that I might put the good vibes here on this yellow card up in the top left-hand corner. And I'm looking for the word vibes, which I know comes, like it was in that sheet, but it popped out. So I couldn't find it, but I did end up finding it down in my box that was sitting beside me on the floor. So that's going to be the title. It's just 2 pieces of chipboard on a pattern piece of paper, 4x6, and that's it. At this point, I am kind of running out of steam for this project, and so it is a bit thrown together. This last page and a half like this spread and on the other side of it are going to be quite a bit less detailed than the other pages in the book, but that's okay. I do plan to come back and do some finishing touches on this album, but my plan is to leave it as it is for quite a while. I'm not going to revisit this project for at least the next several weeks. So I'm just here, I'm writing down the restaurant. It was the Italian restaurant, and I'm grabbing my roller date stamp to put April 11th on there. And I do want to do a little bit of extra journaling there. I just did some outlining around those label stickers. They were getting a little lost for me, and I wanted them to stand out a little bit more. And I do want to put a little something else on here. So I'm going to layer these 2 label stickers. One says "We are so happy together," and the other says "documented." It just adds a little something to the top of that card. As I said, this is much less detailed than the other pages that I did, but I don't want it to be so undetailed that it looks boring or anything. So I'm taking some time to put some extras in. Now I have been wanting to use this stamp set. I think it's in a Creative Bubble. It's definitely Studio Calico and something. It's some collab that they did. And so unfortunately the stamps were sticky, and they actually peeled off some of the ink from the photo. But this is one of those kind of build your own seal, I guess, stamp. And so I put vacation mode and the little palm tree inside of the circle, and I really like that. I think typically I would have stamped that onto white cardstock and then used a punch to punch it out, but I thought that the sky was really it provided a nice stamping surface, so I just stamped right directly on it. It also saves me a little bit of time. So I am going to put these cards away. As you can see, that was super, super fast, but I do have another half page. So as you can see, this is ending with, like, there's going to be another half page at the end of all of these pages. So that's going to be my departure page. So here it is. And these are all of the photos that I had taken out, and cards and stuff that I had taken out in order to put in the departures back, like I guess it's sort of like the ending page. So this one is going to come together super fast. There's only a few minutes left in this video, so I must do it super fast. It was over a week ago that I did this, so I can't quite remember. Oh, I was wanting so much to use some of this, and I would have if it could have been clear, but because there are things on the backs of these pages, I couldn't do that. So, and I think the reason this is so short is that I accidentally didn't film the last part of it. Yeah, I think I pressed pause when I meant to press play and vice versa. So you didn't get to see that last page come together. But here it is. So I just used some letter stickers to put heading home. And there's a die cut there that says, can we stay a little longer? And basically I just took stickers and die cuts and decorated up the page. And I will do a walkthrough, like I'll do a flip through of this album when I've done all the final touches. So you can keep an eye out on my channel for that, and you'll see a little bit more detail about how that last page looked. So I just wanted to give a really quick shout out to all my Patreon supporters. These folks help this channel happen, so a big thanks to all of them, and also thanks to you for watching all the way to the end. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and until next time, have a really great scrappy week.